Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're watching me from. Welcome to the Blessed K Show, and it's me here, Dorcas Kambura. If you happen to be new in our YouTube channel, feel at home. If you're a returning subscriber or a returning viewer, we really appreciate for your support. We also appreciate for your love. Guys, I am so grateful for your support. We are road to 50k subscribers, and it has not been an easy journey, but having you people there as my supporters, I really appreciate for that. I did elevate you guys for your love. So take that for granted. It doesn't mean that I'm too special, but having you people as my supporter keeps me going each and every day. So today I have a guest here with me, and guys, before I allow her to do an introduction of herself, I met this lady through TikTok after you people tagged me there. We are meeting for the first time, and I'm so grateful because her accepting our invite, it's really an honor. I met Lillian through TikTok when people tagged me like, Lucas, did do an interview with this lady, you want to hear her part of the story, and that is the reason I'm with her today. So I will allow her to do an introduction before we continue.
So hi guys, my name is Lillian. Thank you for tuning in, thank you for watching, thank you for following and subscribing to D. I'm a mother, I am a lecturer, I'm a mother to special children, two autistic children, two autistic twins I would say, and one boy who is very healthy and very normal. We thank God for that. And I'm a lecturer at JK Works. And it's a pleasure and an honor to be here today. Thank you.
So Lillian, welcome to our channel. We really appreciate for having you. So maybe I'll start by asking you, how have you been?
I would say great. Very great. Very good. Actually, it's very rare for us to ask people how they are. Actually, most of the times when someone asks you how you are doing, we always lie that we are okay. But today if I said I'm fine, it's because I'm actually very fine. Some few years ago, I would not say that. I would not say that and mean it. But now if I tell you I'm fine, it's because I'm fine. I'm actually very fine. I could be better than me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure meeting you, and I really appreciate you being here in our channel today. I know most of the people, they want to learn something from you, because before getting tags from people, it means there's something they saw in you, and they feel like it's good to have you in a platform so that you can share with other ladies, maybe who have kids the same as yours, to encourage them also. And maybe I'll start by asking, how is motherhood to you? Is it interesting, or how do you see it?
Well, I was tossed into motherhood when I was only 22 years old. Where sasa wa kusema 22 years old, you are likely to calculate how old I am when I tell you how old my children are.
I know.
And at 22, I think I was just a child. So motherhood came to me as a surprise. But I've always wanted to be a mother, and I had always wanted to be a mother. And God was kind enough to bless me with a set of twins. And we were doing well. I was a happy mother. I would say that I was a very happy mother when I got my twins. I delivered them at Fisher Hospital. They treated me so well. And then when I was discharged, I remember feeling so lost, because at Fisher the nurses are always at a beck and call. You click a bell before a second, a nurse is there to take your child. Then I was discharged with my children. We went home, and our first demon was colic. So two of my children, one of them had colic, so they would cry the whole night, and then in the morning the other one wakes up. So I was 24/7 crazily nursing. So motherhood for me became very sour. It became a very sour pill, and a very difficult pill. And until recently, I can now say I love motherhood, but back then motherhood was very difficult for me. So right now motherhood is good, very good actually. We are enjoying every bit of it, but it didn't come that easy. It wasn't that good for the longest time. Yeah.
Well, can you take us through, like, when did you discover your kid they have this condition? Did they start at pregnancy, or how did it start up to where you are today?
I had a very smooth pregnancy, despite the fact that it was a twins pregnancy. I don't remember a single incident I had anything. I didn't get diabetes, I didn't get, my pressure would hike, but the doctor said it was normal. Then I delivered them normally. I remember my gyna back then, I had requested for an elective CS, but he insisted because these children are in a cephalic position, like heads down.
Yeah, I know.
So he was like, you can deliver normally. What did I know? I was a first-time mother, 22 years old, 23 years old, not able to make decisions. So you're like, the doctor has said I can deliver them normally. So I delivered the children normally. On delivery, my first twin, because there's always that first child that comes first, had a wound in the head, because when the nurses were doing the VE, the head was so down, so she developed jaundice like instantly. A few days later, my sister would develop jaundice later, like 2 days later. So we stayed in the hospital for like 5 days under phototherapy. But the kids were okay. So we went home, we started dealing with colic. One child would sleep during the day, the other one would sleep during the night. So it was that kind of a hassle. Until now, what happened is I had a friend, my best friend, she died. Her name was Joy. So rest in peace. She delivered her daughter 7 days, exactly 7 days before mine. So we were co-parenting. Now, when her daughter was about 6 or 7 months, she could comfortably sit down. 5-6 months, she was comfortably sitting down. Then mine were not sitting without support. So every time we would visit, or they would visit us, because most of the times they used to come visit us, I would notice very many differences between the way her daughter was behaving and the way my daughters were behaving. Then she used to tell me, you shouldn't worry about what your daughters are not doing, because they are twins and they are also not doing things at the same pace. So every child develops at its own pace. They got to 1 year. One of them was still not able to sit without support. The other one was sitting without support now at that point. My friend's baby was now able to speak up. She would call mommy. My children had not started any speech. They had no speech at all. But they were making some funny sounds. And so when I took them to the hospital, the doctor said they are fine. These are children, let them grow. So we were okay. At 3 years, at 1.5 years, my second twin now, because they are 21 and 22, my daughters are called Natasha and Natalie. Natalie is the first twin, Natasha is the second twin. Natalie developed slower than Natasha. She was born smaller, she was weighing 2.1, Natasha was 2.5. So she has always developed what I call than Tasha. So Tasha started walking at 1.5 years. Natalie was still not walking. So we would take them out for a walk, and then people would make remarks like, I'll say it in Swahili, unaoteshanga huyu jua, unafaa uzoe kuotesha watoto jua. So I would ask them, so do you think I take one kid specifically and I put them in the sun and I return the other one in the house? So we had those kind of challenges. They were not growing at the same pace. So even comparing them with my friend's daughter, we always would tell each other, me and Joy, like, even Tasha and Tali are not growing at the same pace. Why are you comparing them with? The daughter is called Tahila. Why are you comparing them with Tahila? So we grew. At 2 years, Natalia started walking. So now the two of them were walking. But a gap of 6 months, a difference of 6 months, they were still not walking. So when they hit 3 years, I was married. So me and the father decided, let's take these kids to school. Maybe that's why they're not speaking, because they do not have any siblings. Maybe they do not know how to speak because they do not have anybody to learn from. So at that point, Tahila is expressing herself fluently, but mine are still not talking, but they make some very funny sounds. They used to make a very bad sound. So them making that sound was good, because it helped us to know that they can speak. They are not boo, like they're not dumb. So we took them to school. You see, now they were not shiny twins. We tried, I tried literally everything there is to try. I watched all the videos for toilet training, bought all the potties za kukaria, za sijui za kuweka kocho. I bought everything, still nothing. In fact, my kids would do a very funny thing. One of them would poo on herself, take that poo and smear it on the wall. So by the time I was taking them to school at 3 years, they were still on diapers. So I had to get a school that, you know, the way you ask around and you want to know which school can take care of kids who have this kind of a challenge, who have not got it trained. I was referred to a school I will not mention, simply because it's a sister's school, and they thought because they have a children's home, it's easier to take care of such kind of children. So when I took them, the sister was very kind, and she was like, yeah, it's okay, we can take them even if they're not toilet trained, we will train them. But the day I took them for admission, she never concentrated on me. So I would be talking to her and telling her a lot of stuff about them and all that, but she was watching. Tasha is very hyper, so she was watching Tasha move from one point to another, charts, flip the charts in the whole class, make funny sounds and all that. Natalie is a bit calm, so she gets a bit composed, especially when you get out there. So she looked at me, she was like, after I'm done talking, she was like, Mama, we are going to admit this one, that's Natalie, we are not going to admit this one until you take her for assessment. So I was looking at her and I'm like, assessment? This child cannot talk, she cannot read, she cannot write. How do you expect her to do an assessment? Those are the questions I asked her. So she was kind enough and she explained to me, no, you need to take her to an education center, she gets assessed so that we can be able to identify what's wrong with her. All this time, I did not know there was anything wrong with my children.
Imagine at 3 years.
Yes, I didn't know. Honestly, I thought maybe, you see, we are consoling ourselves with joy. These kids are not developing at the same time. Just let the kids be. They are not sick. As long as they're not sick, they're not hurting, they are okay. Let them be. Let them go at their own pace. So this is the first time I'm hearing someone tell me they need assessment. For what? So, good thing is me, I speak up. I write things. I have a Facebook page that I write stuff. So on that Facebook page, I was like, I've been asked to take my children for assessment. Can someone refer me to an assessment center? So someone they referred me to an assessment center the same day. Now when I went there that day, they were like, we cannot do the assessment today, but please come to a certain place tomorrow with the kids. I took my kids home. I didn't even read about it. It didn't bother me much because I was like, same mtoto wako sawa. This child she's okay. It's ni speech to her na kwa tu sawa. So the following day I took them for assessment. Kumbe it was an assessment today, so there were a number of us. So my kids, they were walking around. So because we were not the first, it was in a school, so kids were walking around. So I spent the whole morning chasing after them. As here we've come, they are drinking yogurt, we have juice, we have Weetabix for them because we can afford it, so we have everything. So they are eating all the things, so their sugar levels are high, so they are high. When we walked into the assessment center, the guy who was assessing them looked up and he was like, are these the kids who've been walking around the whole time? The person who was with him told him, yeah, they're the ones. I said, this is autism. Even not December, that's what he said. He didn't even ask me any other question. He's like, this is autism.
So that is when you learned that your kids, they are...
That was the first instance, that is the nearest I had gotten to the word autism. I had never heard about autism. So I was like, oh, okay, so they have autism. Yeah, okay, so prescription. Can you give me a prescription? Because in my head I'm thinking, we are coming to be assessed because we are sick. So now, without even any other question, we have autism. Which for me was not a big deal because what is autism?
You don't even understand.
I don't know what autism is. So I'm like, give us a prescription, we will take the medication, it's okay. So that's when he sat me down and he gave me a diet. And the bad thing he did is, he gave me do not. There was no do. And everything don't is what we are used to. Don't take yogurt, don't take milk, don't take milk products, don't take wheat products, don't take wheat and gluten and all those things. Do not take sugars, do not take sweet fruits. He listed, actually I think I forgot to carry that. I'll take a photo and send you a photo of all the things he listed for me that we should not do. So I think Sasa, that's when it hit me, this thing is serious. What do we eat? Because everything we eat Weetabix, we eat cornflakes with milk, we eat apples, we eat bananas, we eat watermelons, we eat everything we eat. You've told us not to eat. We drink juices. At that point I was actually very happy because my kids had started pointing at ways. This is what we want. You know, now, like the excitement of having a child ask you for something, and then all of a sudden you've been told not to. And now the mistake he also made was not telling me, like, you cannot cut off these things instantly. So I went home, I removed the cartons of Vitabix, I gave them out. All the bottles of yogurt, gave them out. Every milk box in the house, I gave it out. No, because we are not using them, so why should I keep them?
Yeah, true.
And then harass them. So we removed everything, and we had a lot of stuff. So it was on 8th of May, I remember. So you see, it's near end month, so we've done shopping, everything is there. So we had to remove everything. Now, removing everything put these kids in a, it threw them off balance, and they became extremely unmanageable. Now, this is a child who was used to waking up in the morning and taking milk, not tea, milk. And if they take uji, it doesn't have to have, it should not have sugar, it should not have milk. This is a child who was used to waking up and eating Vitabix. Vitabix is inakuliwa na nini? Vitabix is wheat and milk, of course, and sugar. All of a sudden, all those things they cannot take. This is a child who was at 11, they take yogurt. All of a sudden, there's no yogurt. A child who at lunch hour, they could take Indomie. All of a sudden, there's no Indomie. So everything they were used to eating is not there. What do we have to eat? Rice, ugali, and skuma. Kids who have never eaten skuma. So they kinda rebelled. Now their rebellion came in a very aggressive way, because now they became aggressive, like violently aggressive physically. They would ask for milk, there's no milk. And then, you see, now the problem is, they're asking for milk without what? So the best way they knew how was bring you a cup. So if they bring this cup to you, normally you could give them milk. And normally they knew where to pick the milk from when they needed it.
Yeah,
so now it's not there anymore. So they bring you a cup and they expect you to know that you want milk. So you take the cup, you put water, because now you can't do milk, you can't do juices, you can't do what? You can't do anything. Anything we had, we can't do. So you put water. This child tastes water, they throw it back to you.
Because it's not tasty.
It is not what they want, and they are not even used to this. Yes, they are used to drinking water, but when they need the water, and they knew where to get the water from the dispenser, so they know how to get their water. All of a sudden, everything they're asking for, we give them water. So we tried blending juices for them. Now, after I got that diagnosis, I remember I went home and I posted on my status, my children have been diagnosed with autism. That same day, I am very depressed.
I know.
That is what I posted, and I slept. Now, my neighbor, one of my neighbor, an elderly man, his name was Mr. Maina, came to my door that day, and he brought me milk. I still have it on the autism diet. So now I'm reading the autism diet, and we don't have anything of that form of. I think the nearest we got to the autism diet was having melons and potatoes in the house. So you're mashing potatoes for children who have never eaten anything other than chips. Chips, umeshaambiwa, you cannot give them because of oil. Like, the autism diet is crazy. It leaves you with very slim options. And then, now what he should have told me is that you cannot remove all those things once. You can't like cut off. Gluten is addictive. Removing it, it's like cutting off alcohol from an alcoholic once. Of course, they will suffer side effects. So these kids suffered. They really suffered. So at that time, I'm still seeking a second opinion, because after this education person has told me that, I felt like this guy didn't know what he was saying.
Yeah, true.
So I went to Gertrude. Gertrude gave me a diet again. Nobody is taking their time to explain to me that this diet we're giving you cannot like implement it one off. These things we're asking you, brown rice. You're asking me to give kids brown rice.
Imagine.
You're not telling me you cannot introduce this brown rice. Like, you have to gradually introduce them to this. Gradually wean them off the wheat, because they were used to it. Gradually wean them off all those things. Now, I was very desperate, because they were getting worse. So I kept asking people. I would post on Facebook, I would post on my status. So someone sent me to Kisa. I went to Kisa the following day. Now all these things are happening. I think I went to get through the Kisa and that assessment center within 1 week. I went to Kisa. I went with my children in the morning. I went with them and they were like, yeah, it's okay, but we can't assess them now. We have to book you for a month. I literally sat there and cried. I was like, please assess them now. Let me go home knowing whether these kids have autism and what I should do. So that lady I found that Kisa was very kind. She told me, we are not going to do the assessment today, but kindly, all those things you have been giving them, give them gradually. I had given out everything we had bought. So now it's go back to the shop, do all those shopping again, and start now introducing them back. Kids have already gone haywire. Now at that point we were not even sleeping. That May of 2018 we were not sleeping. 2017 we are not sleeping anymore. Like the whole night they are not sleeping anymore. Not that they had some very good sleeping patterns. Actually I tried sleep training. You know that people ask you to sleep train. There was nothing like that in our lives. We couldn't stick to a schedule and it was very tiring. So now with the diet, we have removed things that they're supposed not to eat. The sleep schedule was completely affected. They started crying every night. One day the father woke up and he was like, you know what, I'm tired. No, I think at that point I was like, you know what, dude, I understand you. That's what I told him. I understand you. And this is what I told him. If you have somewhere to go, it is okay. You can go. And I meant exactly that. Genuinely, I meant he can go. Not because of anything, but because, and this is what I told him. You have the opportunity to leave. Mimi, I'm the mother of these children. There is nowhere I can go. I have to stay here. So you have somewhere you can go. Both of us cannot go insane. You just go and find your sanity. Let me stay because one of us has to stay. And I'm the mother, I have to stay. Dude left. I think every day I look at that story and I'm like, what kind of a human being are you? You shouldn't have left. Like, he did leave. He left. But he needed to leave, I think. So when he left, now I'm left with a broken marriage. Every heartbreak is painful. And I think if there's anything that can mess your life up, is heartbreak. So I'm heartbroken and I have 6 children. I got into instant depression. Instant. So at that point, the people who are on the receiving end, so I got into with now a broken marriage and 6 children. And actually, I think this came after we had gone for now the assessment at Kisa, and they have actually confirmed that these children are autistic. Even on the morning that I was supposed to take the kids for assessment at Kisa, this guy had me. So I took them. So when I took them to Kisa confirmed that indeed this was autism. But they were the lady was like, these children are still very young. The autism is very mild and they are still very young, so their future is promising. When I stress and all that, because I was really stressed. So we started therapy with them. But I'm taking them for therapy. I'm depressed because my marriage is broken, my children are sick, their future has crumbled. At that point, I was pregnant with my son. Have you ever sat down and wished for a miscarriage? I wished for that miscarriage every single day of that pregnancy. Now, but my son was born and he was okay. So now we started that journey of therapies. Therapies are tiring because I think we used to go for therapy almost every other week. Speech therapy, occupational therapy, they are not working properly, all kinds of challenges. And these kids are not sleeping at night. So I was a sleep deprived wreck. Depressed, sleep deprived, broken, and all that. No, at that point I had a child. Okay. I think at one point I choked my child. I wanted to kill him. But he was a very cool child, very calm. But I would look at him and I'm like, dude, you are coming to add on to my troubles. So you are better off gone. And then I also think I didn't have a very good support system. Do I talk about them now? But my family was not very supportive. They were not. They couldn't understand why me and my husband separated.
Yeah, true.
So they could not like really understand what happened. So that said, I didn't get the kind of support I would have. I needed at that particular point. Because I remember at one point, you see now the kids are crying the whole night. I think they cried the whole night, the whole of the remaining bit of 2017. So around the end of 2017, I had a pastor friend who was living in the US. So I sent him a message and I was like, hey, I am depressed. My children do not sleep at night and I think they are demonic possessed. At that point now it looked like it was demonic possession because nothing was working. So this guy would wake up at 1 a.m. every night and pray for us. At that point, anafika 1 a.m., my children are already crazy. They are crying continuously. So you can't even hear what he's saying.
Yeah,
so I got to a point and I told him, stop praying for us. God is not here. Just stop.
Because things are getting worse.
Yes, nothing was working. And then my parents had also, my mom also told me, Mimi, I'm tired. I've stopped praying for you. So I was like, it's okay. God is not answering this. God is not hearing this. So I told God, because I'm chicken, I can't kill myself. So you just kill us. Like, just kill us. But that came after I had tried, I had thought about suicide 3 times. But every time I thought about committing suicide, you see, I'm depressed. And you know when you're depressed, you never know.
Yeah, true.
You barely get to know you're depressed. You only know about it either someone notices or once you're done. Or maybe, yeah. I used to write a lot on Facebook. I used to post literally everything. When my kids are crying, I would post it on Facebook. So it's my best friend, that one Joy, that noticed I was depressed. And she was a medic, so she started watching me. She started talking to me now. But before then, I had tried suicide 3 times. But every time I wanted to commit suicide, I would be like, who am I leaving these children with? If I cannot handle them, who do I think can handle them? The children are my problem. Who do I think is able to handle them? So, my third attempt, I wanted to commit suicide. So I took them, I put them in my car, and I was going to drive off. I had it planned out. We are going to die in a road accident, and nobody was going to survive. I knew exactly where to crash. So when I got into the car, the other night, God made sure we didn't drive off. So the previous night, what had happened is when I parked my car, I left the gear at drive. You know, you can't start a car when it's on drive. I tried starting my car. I opened the bonnet, checked what do you call it? The battery. It's okay, but the car is not starting. We sat in that car for 1 hour. One of my neighbors came and he was like, oh, you see now in 1 hour you have cried, you have thought, you have rethought, you have thought maybe I should get poisoned, maybe it's going to be painful, I do not want them, I would want them to die instantly and all that, and now the accident is not going to happen. So my neighbor came and found me that car and he was like, hey, Natasha, si mumeka kwa gari sana, like you guys are starting this car for so long. What is happening? I was like, my car has refused to start. So the guy got into the car and pushed the lever to the parking and started the car. And he walked away laughing. I just parked my car, put it off, went back to the house with my children, and I don't think we've ever tried or thought of committing suicide again.
So it was like God was
that was my turning point. That was my, I was like, anyway, God is not done with us. Yeah, because if that car had started,
then now you know.
And I had driven the car for so long, I do not remember at any one point I parked my car and left it on drive. Never have I. That particular night, God made sure I did that just to save our lives. So that was when we stopped thinking of committing suicide. And from there, I think now I was like, if I have to die, I will die when these kids are old. I have to live and see what these children will become. That was, I think, my starting point here to accept that yes, we are autistic. Yes, this is where we are. Yes, my children may never talk. Yes, my children may never be whole again. Yes, my children may be disabled for the rest of their lives. But God is not done with us. Like He has refused to let us die. And that's when I told God, now this is it. We are here. We are autistic. We will have to survive. So at that point, they are still crying. one day I post on one of the Facebook platforms, and I told people I'm at the verge of dying out of sleep deprivation. I don't sleep. So I explained the situation. One lady told me, get these children melatonin. No doctor had ever told me that. And every time I would take them to the pediatrician and say they are not sleeping at night, no one ever said anything about melatonin and all that.
So what is that in short?
Melatonin is a supplement.
Okay.
So basically the gut lining of every human being has a melatonin. I don't know, there is a connection between the gut lining and the secretion of melatonin that provokes the brain to sleep when there is darkness. Autistic children do not have that. They don't secrete that. They do not, their brains do not have that interpretation. So that's why most of them struggle with sleep. So Mimi, that day, it was in the evening when I got that response. I remember driving all the way to, she had told me to go to Hillview. The only Hillview I knew was at Garden City. So by the time I got to Garden City, they were closing. So I remember begging those people. I was literally kneeling down and asking them to sell to me the melatonin. They told me we have it in stock, but we closed. They didn't sell to me. And then they sent me to, no, someone saw me crying and they were like, why are you crying? So I told them I'm looking for melatonin, and now you have refused to sell to me at Garden City. They were like, check with Good Life. So Good Life, I walked in there, they sold me melatonin. I drove off very fast back home. I gave my children melatonin as soon as I got to the house.
Because you still wanted to rest at
I just wanted to, I was
relax.
dying. I wanted them to sleep. For once, I wanted them to sleep. So the first night, I gave them melatonin. They slept at, we took that melatonin at 6, around 7-ish. By 8, they were all asleep. And for the first time, I slept peacefully. At 1 p.m., my children were up and crying.
Again.
And so our lives, and I had given them the dose I've been told. So they took the dawa, it worked for a few hours, and then they woke up and now it was becoming very difficult for me. That was still in 2017. 2017 was a very difficult year for me. So that was towards the end of 2017. Now in 2018, I moved houses. I moved from that house and I moved into a completely new environment. Why I moved is because one night, on the night of 18th January, my neighbor walked into my house. No, before we get there, so you remember I had taken them to a school, a sister's school. So this sister's school, they were put in like a small class. The sister was like, your kids need attention, so we're going to put them in a special class of less than 10.
So after the hospital thing, finally they accepted them, they admitted
yes,
them to
now
that
with the hospital report that these children are autistic, I think that's what they wanted. They wanted that confirmation that indeed we are dealing with autism. Once I took them to school, they were like, yeah, fine, your child is special, we are going to admit these children, both of them, they are special, we are going to admit them into a special class. And I was introduced to the special teacher, and we agreed with the sister, I'll be coming every Friday to check on their progress. Now, in this school, every time, it was very far from home, so they would be picked from the house very early, and then they are dropped in the evening. So my nanny would keep asking me, hey, Mama Tasha, Ishule, what do these kids eat? I give her the menu because she's not very clear about what exactly she's asking. Probably she's asking me what do kids eat, because every time they get home, they would run to the kitchen and pick a sahani. And then she would put food for them and they would eat like they have not seen anything. Then she would also complain that you send kids, you see they're going very early in the morning, so you send them with jackets zipped up, they come back in the evening with their jackets zipped up, meaning these jackets were never removed. So how do they stay in school? So I'll go and ask the sister, and the sister will be like, okay, we are going to look into it. Very good. So every Friday I would go to school, and then my nanny always had a complaint. You see me, I'm going to work and then I'm coming back in the evening before, so I don't get to see a lot of them when they're coming to school. And then these are kids who will not tell you, this happened to me in school.
True.
You cannot expect that feedback from them, so you just have to be observant. My nanny was very observant, so she would tell me, tell the people at school to always change these kids' diapers. They go to school with the same diaper and they come back home with the same diapers. Now, unfortunately, whatever diapers we used to pack, they would not come back with them. So, but my nanny can tell that this diaper is the same diaper she left with in the morning. The poop is imemchoma, you know, so she could tell this diaper was not changed. But they don't come back with the diapers. So we would pack a diaper, they don't come back with it, but they don't get changed. They go to school with the full zipper, with the jacket zipped up, they come back with the same jacket zipped up. I was okay. I would go talk to the sisters, they would assure me, and then I'm like, okay, fine. So the second term, that was in September now, I had taken them back to school, paid school fees. In fact, we were paying double the school fees because now it's a special class, double the school fees of the normal kids. I paid the full school fees, took the kids to school, and then I started doing my usual Friday visits. So the sister, I would find the sister at the reception, and then she would not allow me past that. And the assumption or the explanation every time is, you're going to interfere with the other learners, which I understood, and I never pushed. I actually do not push. I'm a very easy person to obey rules. So I never went to that office until one day, I think the second week of September, I went to see each had left Dawas. They had in mind, therefore they had left Dawas. So I went to take the medicines to them. I got like a small girl at the reception, and she was like, "Go in the room. Go check them out there. So I've come with medicines, and you're sending me to go give them in a place where I've never been to. I know the class, which was a different space altogether. The class I had been shown, and the room I was being asked to go check them out was very different. And it was around 11. So all the other kids were outside. So I'm wondering, why are my kids in a room? That had not hit me until I got there, and I found them in a room, both of them locked up in a space. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Both of them were locked up in a room that had nothing. They had those mkeka that you see in Islamic houses.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing else. No toys, no nothing. One, actually, I peeped through the window, and one was doing somersault. The other one was leaning against the window. Sorry about that. And so, I broke down. I literally broke down. So it became a scene. And then the teachers came and they were like, in Kikuyu, now they were asking in Kikuyu, no murekereiri okay gukuyu. Like, who allowed her to come to this space? Meaning, it was an agreement that I should never be allowed to that space. So I would never have known where my kids spend their days at. Kumbe they spent their days locked up. The whole day, because you see it's break time. My expectations are break time, every kid is out there playing. So why are my kids locked up? What is happening? So that day was now the day I desperately wanted to die. I felt like I had failed them. I remembered all the days I dropped them to school and they would cry as I dropped them. I never understood why my children have never gotten used to school. You know, like first day crying is okay, but continuously and consistent crying, something is wrong. So I now understood, and I really felt bad about that. And I remember I left them in that, and I drove off, yes. Because I knew I was not going to get home. And for the first time I felt like they deserved better. They deserved a better mother. I had failed them, I had failed myself. So I walked out. Fortunately, as soon as I hit the gate, my best friend called me. Her name is Jounrney. So she called me and she was like, she gave me nonsense stories that were not ending until I subconsciously drove all the way to Jacob. You know the way you subconsciously, umezoea, you're used to a certain route. So I'm subconsciously driving. So when I got to Jaquat is when now I realized I'm at Jaquat and I'm not dead.
Yeah.
And I left the kids at school, hoping that I would die along the way, like I would crash somewhere along the way, because they didn't deserve me. I felt like they didn't deserve me. I had failed them. So, and we were even not discussing. So when I got to Jaquat, I walked into her office. We used to share an office with her that time. I walked into the office And I broke down now and I told her exactly what had happened and what I had planned to do. And she was like, hey, anyway, God uses people, because I have had this push to call you the whole morning. She barely used to call me in the morning because, see, I'm going to work, so we're going to meet in the office. So she had that push. So kind of God pushed her to call me to save me.
Yeah.
That evening, my kids got home. They were driven by the driver. I didn't even go for them. I did not take them back to school.
That was the last day
They set foot there. I didn't make noise. I did not say a word. I put them in the house. So now that was in September. So now my fear, my constant fear was always, what happens to my children when they walk out of my space, out of my sight? What happens to them? Now that they are not able to come and tell me this is what happened, how will I ever know? So I held that fear for the whole of that term in Kaisha. I didn't take them to school. The following term, in January, I asked around. I got a school. JKUAT has a nursery school, but still, I was skeptical. You know, JKUAT is close at home because that's where I work. But I felt like I would need to take leave for me to constantly monitor
the kids,
how my children are doing outside my watch. So I was happier with them at home because we have cartoons, we have toys, we have space, we have a huge house, we have a nanny, we have someone watching over them. They are in their space. Then put them in like a small space where nobody is watching over them. They have no toys to play with, they have no TV to watch, they have nobody to talk to. So they stayed in the house. On the night of 18th January, that was about 2 weeks after school had opened. My neighbor, there was a guy who was my upstairs neighbor, my next upstairs. So this guy used to love Kinatasha. So he would, every day when he's coming back home and he's drunk, he would knock on our door at whatever time, because we never used to sleep mapema. Even with the melatonin, we never used to sleep early, or we would sleep early and wake up. So he would find, now what used to suit the kids is music. So we would put music on TV. I would sleep on the couch as I allow them to just dance their way around the night until they fall asleep. I would take them to bed and go to sleep. That night, I thought it was him who was knocking, so I was in a very sour mood. I told him not to get it, just go. The voice of the door was like, it's not baby, it is so and so. So I opened the door because I had a lot of respect for that lady, and I was like, why is she calling? Why is she coming in my house at this hour? It was around midnight. So she walked in, the kids were crying, like really crying. So she walked in, and the first thing she told me is, Mama Tasha, nimekuja kuuliza, I have come to ask, what is it that you do to your children to make them cry every night? You know, we could not ask you back then when you had a husband. Now that we know he's not there anymore, I have come to ask. I looked at her and I was like, I have a lot of respect. She had a daughter who was 3 months older than my daughters. I asked her, so and so, where is your daughter? What time is it? It's midnight. Where is your daughter? She is asleep. Where is your husband? He is in the house. And he allowed you to come and ask me those questions. Do you think I would do something to my children to make them cry like that every night? So she was like, oh, we have actually discussed and agreed that if we do not take these children to a special school, we are going to call the Child Welfare Society to come and pick these kids because you're mistreating them. I'm like, when can this Child Welfare Society come for these children? Because they have mistreated me enough. So I was so happy. So finally, I think she pushed me to it. You know, at that time, it was when there was that documentary about Child Welfare Society and how they were doing. They were mistreating special children. And now you're coming to tell me that my children are better off in the children's home than in my house. So I don't know where I got the energy, but I grabbed that woman and I threw her out. I'm not violent. Normally, I'm not very violent. So I grabbed her and threw her out. And I closed the door. And I knew I needed to move. Like that environment was now toxic. In fact, the decision to move did not come as a result of that. It came as a result of one day, I think the following day or 2 days later, I was living on the 3rd floor, and our house balcony is created in a funny way. It's stone and then the chumas. So one day when I'm down there, I saw my daughter climb on that stone, and was amepanda hiyo chuma inafika hapa so she can topple over. So I was like, if this child dares for, they are going to accuse me of killing this child.
True.
So I had to leave. That's the reason why I moved. So when I moved, because I moved on the end of February, I moved houses, and for the first time, my children slept without melatonin, and they have never woken up.
Since you moved?
Miraculously. My children slept with no melatonin. They did not take melatonin when we moved. I think we just forgot about we ran out of melatonin. The day we moved houses, my children slept from March of 2018 to date. We never used melatonin in my house.
What does that mean exactly? So the problem was where you
I don't know. I do not want to think about it. I don't know. But that's what happened. Mbaka, I would wake up and check whether they are alive. Like, why are these kids not crying? Are they alive?
Because you're used to them crying like every night.
They would take melatonin and still wake up at midnight. So that March moved. We moved on 28th, and from that day we've never taken melatonin to sleep, and we've never cried when we went to sleep. They stopped crying. Now what happened?